Hello everybody, my name is Christian, and today we are going to be discussing the winners of version 4.2. This is a series I've been enjoying quite a bit, and after skipping it for version 4.1, I wanted to bring it back for the big anniversary update. There are quite a few characters who really benefited from this version, and quite a few who I think many people haven't thought about. I'm excited to talk about all of that today, so make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, become a YouTube member down below, and with that said, let's get into it. This video is sponsored by U7Buy. With so many great characters releasing in Star Rail, it's hard to get everyone you want. This is where U7Buy comes in. This is a gaming hub, offering fast, cheap, and reliable top-ups for all your favorite games. The process to get top-ups here is simple. Head over to the store page and select the bundle you want. While the price may seem the same as the official store, the moment you click checkout, you'll have a great discount applied to your order. From there, you simply fill in your server and UID, the payment information of your choice, and within minutes, you'll see your top-up in-game. This method is efficient and completely safe for those looking to top up at a discount. If you want to start saving today, go to the link in the description or the pinned comment and use code CHRIS, that's Chris without an H, for an extra 8% off your current order. Thank you so much to U7Buy for sponsoring. Now, let's get back into the video. So like I mentioned in the intro, this update was absolutely massive. 2 new main DPS characters, 4 Nova Flares, a new MC form, and 2 characters in the Golden Companion shop. This is also with the announcement of a new Blade form coming next patch. That's certainly a lot, and overall, I think HSR players are the real winners of this update, especially with new Welt and Sela being buffed back into meta relevance. That is somewhat cheating though, so hey, let's get into the actual winners, shall we? The very first character I want to start with is none other than Yao Guang. Yao Guang released as not only our first look at Elation, but also the first new character of version 4.x. This choice was interesting, to say the least. Questionable business practices aside, Yao Guang was released into the game in a destitute state, to say the least. She released with one team being able to reasonably use her. Her only DPS being second half of that patch, and with promotional material that, compared to Sparksy, was a pretty big indicator that she was not meant to be out at this point. You cannot convince me otherwise when most other Plan Arcadia material has included Sparksy, and she got an additional trailer comparatively. Yao Guang's entire release was a mess, but now it is finally being rectified with the release of Silverwolf and soon Evanescea. Sparksy was already very reliant upon Yao Guang, but now that Silverwolf and Eva exist, it's far more so than ever before. Every Elation character in the game currently does in fact rely on Yao Guang as part of their best team. As a character who brings debuffs to team types that lack it pretty heavily, being a naturally fast character who can help improve the speed of AHA instants, and having the ability to produce an AHA instant whenever her ult is active, Yao Guang is cementing herself as a big staple in the current Elation teams. For Silverwolf level 999, getting her AHA instant to get a massive increase in MMR is crucial to make sure you get your ult state back as fast as humanly possible. Her damage from her Elation skill in God mode is also a huge chunk of what she does, and is pretty important if playing her under E2 investment. I will say it's important regardless, but far more so when under that investment threshold. Lastly, Silverwolf and her ideal teammate Sparksy both have very few damage boosts in their kit besides crit damage or just attack boost / damage boost. Yao Guang may be limited in her buffs for other teams, but for these Elation teams, she is offering a huge benefit to them with her res pen and vulnerability boosts. This takes us straight to Sparksy, who similarly benefits from Yao Guang an insane amount. While Sparksy's mechanic is skill points, her Elation skill is incredibly powerful for her, and that combined with one of her traces can offset her SP consumption by quite a bit. This results in far more damage out of Sparksy consistently, as well as a good way to keep Certified Banger consistently, which massively improves Sparksy's damage as well. Until another Elation support comes out, Sparksy can struggle to get the full use out of AHA instants, but having Yao Guang is definitely far better than not having her. That much is for sure. This is also without mentioning that with Silverwolf level 999 in the game now, Sparksy can be built to do massive damage whenever she wants, while also greatly benefiting her ideal DPS in Wolfie. Overall, a huge win-win combo for all the people who got Sparksy and Yao Guang already. Last but not least is Evanescea, who, say it with me folks, loves having Yao Guang on her team. Evanescea relies a lot on punchline generation and certified bangers to do anything with her kit. Yao Guang is once again amazing for that, granting punchlines constantly on skill and ultimate, and triggering additional Elation skills, which means Evanescea can generate even more certified banger. This combined with her massive Elation increase makes Evanescea far more powerful. Yao Guang has finally cemented a role in the game with all of these options, and using her allows you to have any of them be the focal point of your team if you don't like other Elation characters as much. It's awesome to see such a cool character finally get the role she deserves, and it's seeming like the prediction I made about Yao Guang was correct, where she will in fact be important to these correlation teams going into the future. I seriously cannot believe those Sunday conversations were real. In one update, she already has more use with a specific path than Sunday ever did, and that's insane. The next winner we're going to talk about today is one of the easier ones to talk about, which is Welt owners, especially E2 and E4 Welt owners. So I know I said earlier I wanted to avoid wins for the general player base, but a standard character in Welt being buffed, how could I possibly leave that off this list? This is not only a historic moment in HSR history, but also, holy shit, they made him absolutely sick now. Welt has now become one of the best hybrid characters in all of HSR, being able to be a powerful main DPS and a support/pseudo-sustain character. Having Eidolons on him only makes him better too, as his Eidolons received a pretty nice overhaul. E1 is a solid damage boost, making it so that his role as a main DPS is far more viable, and E4 now offers a 30% all-type res pen boost to your team. That is simply unbelievable. His E2 also sits unchanged, since it's pretty great, offering 5 energy every time his talent is triggered. His base kit is already pretty incredible, and definitely worthy of use, but having Eidolons for him as a longtime player is a massive game changer, quite frankly. Getting up to E4 of him, which I understand isn't easy, but if you have it, he shoots up to being one of, if not the best, sustainless option in the entire game. Constant action delay, quick ultimates with his energy regen, and a massive damage boost with 40% def shred and an additional 100% damage boost. And on top of all that, the all-type res pen. If you want to hear more about Welt, I already made a whole video about him and the other buff characters that goes over all of his strength and utility in detail for those interested. Overall, Welt's boost has really revived him in the meta, and while not an incredible character for the average player, it's a fair statement to say he gets a lot better the more Eidolons you get for him, with each providing a unique boost and giving access to a different playstyle the farther along you go. There are very few characters you can say that about in HSR, and the fact that Welt has become one of them is a godsend that players simply cannot overlook. Get this man back in your lost pool immediately if you removed him, and if you have an extra golden companion token lying around, and you're only one away from his E4, all I'm saying is, this would be a good time to spend. This is bar none one of the best value pulls in HSR right now. Next up on the chopping block for this video is going to be a weird one. If you are someone who heavily dislikes pure fiction, or you just never have the characters for it, this version might just make you a winner. Let me explain. With Seele getting buffed, Evanescence and Silverwolf being released, and Trivia and Dahlia rerunning, there are more options than ever before to deal with pure fiction efficiently, even if you hate it. This is especially true if your goal is just to clear it, because if that's the case, you've got options in waves now. Let's start with the obvious two in Evanescence and Silverwolf. Silverwolf is a bounce character capable of consistent AoE damage. We all know that at this point. She has attacks that can hit all enemies or attacks that will evenly split damage between all enemies. And while one of her more powerful attacks and her elation skill is also bounce, this will still do a lot against the weak pure fiction mobs. The main draw for her is going to be that enhanced basic attack, being able to evenly spread out a lot of damage to the mob enemies, getting rid of them nice and quick. Any weakness she has here can also be heavily made up for with her signature teammate, Sparksy. Sparksy is not exactly an AoE character, I feel, but she has a lot of blast damage and can be enhanced to do massive amounts. Pairing this with Silverwolf also means you get a lot of chances to trigger loot box drops, which deal even more consistent damage to your enemies. While these two on their own may have a few holes in their game plan, combined, they are unstoppable, providing so much damage that will inevitably just overwhelm the enemies until they fall over. It's the same principle as Mono Rem, although I feel Mono Rem was a bit better designed specifically for AoE, whereas I feel Elation will be even better into single target or blast scenarios. It doesn't matter too much though, as basically no matter what content is in front of them, this team is going to dominate the game for a while going forward. This then brings us to Evanescence, who also does fairly well in AoE scenarios, with a blast skill, an AoE ult, an AoE Elation skill that can be spammed very often with Yao Guang and EMC, and a follow-up attack that hits all enemies. Evanescence has multiple good ways to tear weaker enemies apart. She may struggle when it comes to certain boss enemies, but hey, if you're looking for a good clear, you'll find it pretty easily with Evanescence on the team. Now, we have Seele. I imagine this is confusing for at least one person, so let's get into it. Seele is a hunt character, a path that is literally said to excel in one-on-one combat. So why in God's name would Seele be good for a mode where the whole gimmick is dozens and dozens of enemies? Well, her new buffs have made her a much bigger force to be reckoned with, and her kit has always excelled at dealing with multiple enemies. She literally relies on it to get most of her damage. and nowadays, her damage is just far more substantial. So with Seele in Pure Fiction, you're going to want to buff her up and immediately get her started on clearing mobs. She will proc her additional skill when getting 1 to half health, which will in turn allow her to go again and greatly damage or kill another mob target. With her consistent actions and ultimate being a free kill as well usually, she can clear the field pretty rapidly. Not as fast as an actual Erudition character, but still pretty fast. Then, when it comes to boss levels, Seele can take out the small enemies to stack her brand new damage boost, and go straight into dealing massive damage to the boss, either with her ultimate or with her Resurgence proc. Overall, it's a unique formula and gameplay loop, and if you pair her with Ashvale, it's even better. These two combined form a formidable duo unlike any we've seen before in Pure Fiction. The two Hun characters running that mode is far from expected, but if it works, it works. And let me tell you viewers, it most certainly does work. As for Tribby and Dahlia, these are both just strong AoE characters, and Dahlia is a great enabler for Himiko, who can absolutely tear apart Pure Fiction if you have a Fugue and a Ron Mei lying around. These two can just be slapped into any team you need, and it'll probably do at least decently well in the mode. We have a few winners left, and this one is probably the most fun one in my opinion, so let's talk about Asta. Yes viewer, Asta is a winner this update. The 1.0 4-star support Asta, yeah that one. She's a winner of version 4.2. This comes on the back of her being a winner in version 3.7 as well, as a great support for those interested in running DPS Cyrene. Shout out to that one YouTuber, I believe his name is Randomness, who does DPS Cyrene clears. Those are sick to see. Back to this update though. Asta has actually managed to be a competitive support for those using Silverwolf level 999. This is because Silverwolf is a speed scaler, managing to gain crit rate and crit damage off of it. In addition to this, speed is just a valuable resource, and combined with DDD, can push Silverwolf to getting additional actions consistently. Lastly, if you're running Asta with any two Elation characters and manage to get one of them to 200 speed and the other to 134 speed with her ult, Aha Instant will have its speed increased to 134, meaning it will occur twice per cycle. I'm not going to go into the full Aha speed formula right now, but with two characters, just know that one needs to be at 200 and the other at 134. I honestly wasn't even sure if it was a live update with Aha Instant. I literally had to ask somebody. They told me yes. I'm gonna hope I wasn't lied to. Back to Asta though, getting that Aha Instant is more than achievable, even if only for a few turns at a time. Asta will not be the absolute best teammate in the world with Silverwolf, but if you missed out on Sparks or Yao Guang, Asta and EMC can be a serviceable free-to-play team until you're able to get those more essential pieces for your Silverwolf team. She can also end up being pretty helpful for sustainless runs, so that's way better than what Asta had for a very long time in this game. Alright, as we're getting to the end of the list, this next winner is a bit of a weird one. The next winner of version 4.2 is surprisingly Aglaia. Now, Aglaia's most optimal team right now is still one consisting of Cyrene and RMC in my opinion. This team offers an insane amount of true damage, fantastic energy regen, and strong additional damage sources alongside Aglaia. With that in mind, players who didn't invest in Cyrene, or just general free-to-play Aglaia teams, are gonna benefit a lot this update. If you've been saving up Golden Companion tokens for a while, E2 Robin and E1 Huohuo are both fantastic Eidolons that should be considered for Aglaia's team. E1 Robin is a massive res pen boost that can help any team, and E2 increases the speed of your whole team by 16% in Robin's ult state. Now, jumping to E1 Huohuo, this will increase the speed of your whole team by 12% while Divine Provision is active. Considering this should be active permanently, you will consistently be receiving this bonus, and with those two Eidolons combined, that is a total speed boost of 28%. Genuinely incredible, considering Aglaia gets stronger the more speed she has, and this will still result in more actions for the rest of your team. Now, I do know, if you own neither of these characters, 5 spirits is a lot to ask for. However, this can be a passive goal as we continue getting more tokens for free over time, or if you're a spender, you can get a second one in this very patch to make the process a bit smoother. I know many people have saved their spirits, so if you want a solid team for one of the most fun characters in HSR, this is your time to go for it. Now for our last winner of today. This one is unfortunately a double-edged sword. I don't like being overly negative in a video, focusing on a lot of the positives in the game right now, and things that I'm personally excited about, but there's no way around discussing this, and I don't want to make a full video about it. The final winner today is Remembrance MC. This is because they will likely still see plenty of usage since Elation MC is mediocre as all hell. It makes me very sad to have to say that, and in the grand scheme of things, Elation MC isn't awful. They have unique aspects that no other Elation character has, and they serve as a top-tier teammate for Evanesia at low investment. The problem I have with EMC is the fact that they're a DPS again. With Elation, we have an oversaturation of DPS characters right now, and while yes, this is a character with a supportive ult and multiple supportive-oriented things built into their kit, they still have an emphasis on doing damage. The damage is really not that strong, and when the main draw of the character is their supportive ultimate, this design ultimately feels a little silly. It's like Ceridra, who serves as a niche support with damage potential, or Evernight, who constantly does massive damage while passively providing buffs to the team. EMC fails to accomplish this in most ways, and without having any form of real flexibility to be used in non-Elation scenarios, it makes for a fairly mid character compared to the predecessor in RMC. This isn't meant to dunk on EMC completely, as RMC is just a phenomenal character, and is genuinely a winner, as both Seele and Welt are capable of using him in their teams. He also serves as a competent option for Evanesia, and a decent sustainless option for Silverwolf. This also comes on top of RMC being a competent option for Ashvale, as he was another crit-based character. The design of RMC is genuinely genius, and it's awesome to think that as time goes on, they will continue being a viable option in this game. The more older characters get buffed or more non-Elation characters come out, RMC will continue to see usage and be a staple of both sustainless and strong free-to-play team. That is absolutely amazing, and even if EMC isn't everything we wanted, seeing RMC still be one of the greatest gifts Star Rail has ever given us makes for an absolutely wonderful feeling for players everywhere. Not exactly the ending to the video I wanted, but this is just how my listing worked out. Overall, version 4.2 is seemingly one of the more promising patches in HSR. Ignoring the dreadful ass boss we'll have to fight in every single mode now, I'm pretty content here. The story has been great and will seemingly continue to be into the future. We got amazing buffs for a standard character and a character who really needed it in Seele. We got 2 Elation DPS who are different enough to warrant being their own characters, while both still being great. We've been shown characters can be buffed and go straight into the shop, which leaves hope that characters like Luocha and Topaz can still be buffed someday, instead of rotting in there forever. I personally am really happy with the patch, and I hope you all enjoy it too. Thank you so much for watching, I really do appreciate it. Leave down in the comments your favorite part of this patch, and what you look forward to in the future. I've got plenty more good videos coming out soon, so I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye!